Diane in Denmark here, and we have reached the final day of Bahookie Camp. And I know I say it's the final day of Bahookie Camp, but don't worry, it's not the end. This is just the beginning. Let me just put down my pom-pom script in it. As I said, it's not the end. We have been working for 3 weeks on a new improved version of ourselves, and I'm just about to give you a little checklist to send you off on your merry way. But hopefully, I don't want to send you off too far. I hope you'll come back and work along with me. As you know, I've had this channel for a year. It's incredible. We're up at 11,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for indulging me and working along with me and putting up with my silliness. I post Monday to Friday here on YouTube. I post videos at the weekend. I try and stay off YouTube at the weekend because it is, it takes up a lot of time, and everybody's got to prioritise their time. I am on Instagram all week, and I'm on Instagram at the weekend because that's where I post my pictures of which outfit I'm wearing for the day. Sorry, I should say my outfit for tomorrow, because I always look at the day before, what we're having for dinner, and decluttering projects that I'm working on, or whatever it is, or the daily focus, the Flylady daily focus. So you will see me on Instagram, and as I've said before, the reason I post my pictures is they keep me accountable. I need to keep myself accountable, just like you probably need to keep yourself accountable. And so you will see me on Instagram at the weekend, but you won't see me on YouTube at the weekend. But if you're, I know a lot of you've been binge watching, and if you're having withdrawals, I've got tons of playlists if you need to clean or declutter. Anyway, let's get back to what we have been doing with these 3 weeks, where we've just been making a new improved version of ourselves, and we've been doing it in small baby steps as we do everything else. So the first week was, it's always exciting, because we're excited to get started, and we focused on getting our heads and our thoughts and our house and our home organised in the sense that we were making a plan. And the plan was to have your daily routines, your morning routine and your evening routine, the thing of getting dressed to shoes, drying out your sink at night, planning ahead for meals. So we set up our lists, and you were either dusting off your control journal, adding something to that, or maybe updating it if you found that your morning routine wasn't quite working because you had like 57 items on there. That doesn't help anybody. So we talked about how to tweak our routines, and either, you may have been using your old control journal, you may have been using a notebook, you may have been using a smartphone or an iPad, but the main thing was that we were actually making these routines, writing them down, whether it was on a piece of paper or electronically, and ticking them off. That's the difference. And all we're doing with making those lists and routines is that we are planning ahead. We're just one step forward, and we're not doing anything different. We're not doing more work. We're just doing the same work, but we're doing it in a different order to stop us getting stressed. And there's a great quote by David Allen, who is behind the Getting Things Done system. If you missed the Getting Things Done thing, I've also got a series about that. And he has a great quote about making decisions when you can, as opposed to making decisions when you have to or when you're forced into it, is so much better. And that's all it is. When you think about it, the thing of planning the day before, just something as simple as putting out your outfit for the next day. It's so much nicer to do it when you actually can do it, when you've got time in your head just to do it gently, instead of doing it 10 seconds before you run out the door because suddenly there's an emergency at home. We're just planning in advance, because making the decisions when we can make it, as opposed to making the decision when we're kind of forced there right on the spot, that's not a great feeling, you know. And I'm an introvert, I'm anxious, so that thing of, you know, being put on the spot, that really doesn't work for me. That's why the planning ahead has been fantastic for me. It really frees up my head, and it means that I can let my shoulders drop because, you know, I know I've got a plan for it. So that's what we're doing on week 1. So hopefully, if you haven't done it yet, it's not too late. Just, you know, get those lists written down, and not long lists. You know, we talked about keeping them short and doing the worst things first, because then we can zoom through the rest of our list. We also talked in week 1 about, you know, doing something nice for ourselves, you know, a little bit of pamper time, self-care. It's really important to recharge those batteries. And I shared with you the Danish Queen's speech, the New Year's speech that she made about doing something pointless every day. You know, we're all rushing around, but it's really important to do something pointless. And what did she mean by that? She meant something that was just going to pull us out of the everyday stresses and strains, but something that, you know, we can do, you know, either with our hands, something creative, or you know, and it could be anything. I mean, I told you what my one is. I invested in some in some bubbles, because, you know, I love bubbles, and I've got those in my pamper basket. Or sitting down, you know, with a book, just for 15 minutes, just doing something, you know. Or something that I've started doing again is I used to love doing crosswords, and I kind of got out of that. But now I've discovered that the Guardian newspaper, they have online crosswords, and I can do not the cryptic ones anymore. They take too long. But a speedy crossword. So that's been really good, you know, for me, just to look at what kind of things can I do as a pointless activity that just takes 5 or 10 minutes a day, but that just gives us that kind of breathing room. So anyway, that was what we did in week 1. Week 2, we were focusing more on our physical surroundings, your house, your home, and how we can improve that for us by using some kind of system. I use the Flylady system and the Flylady Zones. I find that works really well because it takes the guesswork out of things. You know, I love when I have a plan for it, and when somebody tells me, okay, you do that, and I can do it. I'm not so good at just kind of plucking things out of the air. So I went through the Flylady's 5 zones with you, and you saw me doing 15 minutes cleaning or decluttering in, you know, zone 1, the entryway, zone 2, the kitchen, zone 3, the bathroom and 1 plus 1 other room, zone 4, the master bedroom, and zone 5, the living room. So I showed you the power of just working for 15 minutes, how much you can do. And I hope that was an eye-opener for you, because I know I get so many questions of how do I keep the house clean. And you've seen it in my, I have a whole series where you know, I take you along, and hopefully you clean along with me or declutter with me. Often I only do, you know, like 15 minutes in that area, and the rest of the week where we're working, you know, in a particular zone, I maybe just spend 5 or 10 minutes decluttering one drawer, or doing a bit more detailed cleaning. So really, once we're consistent with working, you know, just for 5 or 10 minutes at a time, we reduce the amount of time that we have to spend. Imagine that. I love how that works. So that was week 2. If you want to go back and get a quick start on the zones, do that. But really the best way is just to work on 1 zone per week. And you'll see me doing that moving forward. I'm going back to my usual thing next week, if you'll see me hopefully work with me for 15 minutes in the zone. Now, the last week, week 3, this week, we have been moving our focus again, and we were working on, well, thinking about health and fitness, because I know a lot of you, you know, we all have these resolutions, and we want to be fitter and eat better and eat clean, and just looking at ways of how to do that. I showed you on Monday my Fitbit. I've got mine charging in the wall right now because I'm sitting here for a while, so it's charging. And just using, sign up for something, post it on Instagram with us, team up with a friend, you know, make yourself accountable and set really tiny goals. And instead of saying, oh yeah, I want to run 5 kilometers 3 times this week, say, you know what, I want to get out the house for 10 minutes every day. You know, just by setting the small goals, once we actually get going, things take off. So we're talking about health and fitness, and also what I just said about setting small goals. I also set a couple of challenges for you in decluttering. And I know that has been an eye-opener for a lot of you, because I've seen it on Instagram. You've been posting what you managed to declutter. I love seeing the pictures. And if you haven't been on Instagram yet, come and join us, because it's very powerful, the pictures. You know, I'm a visual learner, and when I see what other people have decluttered, that encourages me, and hopefully my pictures encourage you, and you know, we're all helping each other here. And the thing that I said with the decluttering challenges, you know, the first one was just set your timer for just 3 minutes, not 15 minutes and not 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon, 3 minutes, and see if you can find 5 items to throw away, recycle, give away. And I know a lot of you found 5, but you went on to find more that day because you saw, oh, actually, yeah, I can do this. And it's just that thing of getting started. That's all I'm trying to help you to do here with my channel, is just show you that, you know, if you can just start along with me, things will snowball. Okay, so don't feel it. Please don't ever feel that you're not doing enough. Just doing something, you know, as I say all the time, putting one foot in front of the other. That is the main thing here. As long as we can just keep, you know, moving forward, just an inch every day, that is fantastic progress. And think how much progress will be at the end of the year. And I had a couple of comments about the decluttering thing. We did this declutter challenge, Flylady Premium Mentor Emma, because we're not allowed to say Flylady Emma any longer. Flylady Premium Mentor Emma and I did a challenge back in April where we did at least 1 item a day. And a lot of you ladies have carried on with that, and you write it in your diary, that, you know, the items that you've decluttered, or, you know, tell family you were doing it together. And that is wonderful that you have looked back and seen how many things have gone out the door. So if you don't believe the power in the power of 1 item, you know, start writing down what you declutter and look back in 1 month's time and be amazed. So we did a couple of declutter challenges this week, and also the other challenge that I gave you was to get a bit of hygge, a bit of Danish hygge into your daily lives. And hygge, I've done videos on hygge before, so I won't bore you with that again. But basically it's just making things cozy for yourself, you know, just slowing down a bit, you know, going back to the old days, and just taking time for you. And something as simple as, you know, lighting a candle or an LED candle, you know, it doesn't have to be a real one, if you have pets or animals or allergies. But just something as silly as, you know, I've got my wee Saint Caddy here, but, you know, I picked up this for the dishwashing liquid, and it's just something that makes me smile on a daily basis. And it just, you know, anything that puts a smile on your face, like, you know, setting out, you know, your nice crockery when you have your lunch, you know, just taking time to, you know, switch off all the lights in the house, just sit and read by one lamp and get a cozy blanket over you, just taking a few minutes for yourself. And that ties in with the, you know, kind of pamper time and, you know, reading a book. So I hope this week I've given you a little push and a little pull, and that you have made a few changes, a few little tweaks to what you were already doing. And I hope that I've shown you that anything that you do is better than nothing. That, you know, I am not running marathons here, and I am not spending hours on cleaning, and yet I can sit back and enjoy what I have. You know, I'm not always dreaming about, oh, if only I had money to do this or do that. You know, I've mentioned this before, in the old bad days, I would constantly be looking towards, you know, the weekend or some kind of vacation or holiday. But working, you know, with these things, with just planning ahead, using the Flylady system for cleaning, things have totally turned around for me. And the days that I enjoy the most are the bog standard Monday to Friday days where I go about my routines. I can enjoy, you know, the little moments, and that has been a life changer for me. So anyway, I won't get all touchy-feely. Once again, thanks for indulging me in this little Bahookie Camp. And all we're doing is putting one foot in front of the other, or one pom-pom in front of the other. So anyway, let me know how you got on with the Bahookie Camp. As I said, it's not the end, this is just the beginning, hopefully, for you. And if you just stumbled onto these videos, you know, the Bahookie Camp is probably too much if you're just finding Flylady or just getting things done. So, you know, go and have a look at the old playlists for that. But anyway, I'm going to wish you a fantastic weekend and say my usual, live long and prosper, shake those pom-poms, may the hygge be with you, and I shall see you bright and early on Monday morning. Right, that's it for me. Diane in Denmark, time to get off my Bahookie and get my Fitbit on. Live long and prosper. See you soon.